welcome. Welcome to this special movie review with yours truly, Dragan, drinking a cup of coffee with Dragan, yours truly, special movie review. It's been a minute since I've not done a movie review. We're gonna do one now, 2:31 p.m. EST. Please, if you make a million on the stock market today, or made a million on the stock market yesterday, or gonna make 1 million on the stock market tomorrow, please give for finance food security. Please finance food security. If you make a million on the stock market today, buy sell, trade stocks. We're gonna make a million tomorrow on the stock market. Or if you made a million yesterday on the stock market, please rock and roll, give 10% for food security, LGBTQ youth, sports, and for Mother Nature. 10% of a million is 100,000. Math quick times 10%. 10 times 10 is 100. 100% is the unit. One unit. So if you made 1 million on the stock market today, or if you're gonna make 1 million on the stock market today or yesterday, you made already 1 million on the stock market, buy sell trade stocks, forex, futures, swaps, or you're gonna make one tomorrow, Friday, when the stock market opens, if it does not crash, because stock market crashes can happen. I'm a little bit of finance, don't know it all, know a little bit of percentage. I'm learning every day. Buy sell trade stocks, buy sell trade stocks. In the past life, many past lives, many incarnations, was a financier, banker engaged in commerce and financial knowledge and wisdom and understanding. In Frankfurt am Main, in a past life, was born in Frankfurt am Main, and roamed about Europe, doing finance, trade, and commerce, doing commerce, finance, and trade. Money is what is money. We all need it. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be thankful, grateful that I'm gonna be able to pay my rent for September 1st. So I can give carpe diem all that I got today by doing this movie review. I'm grateful, thankful that I've been on a march, more than 93 minutes. It was more than 93 minutes roundabout, circle around my headquarters, room, office, and temple. And I'm grateful, thankful. I'm gonna say thank you, love you, kiss you, farmers and dairy farmers, because I've got some milk on special. And I got myself a bacon half price, reduced price. When I saw the price of bacon double, I never seen prices so high, price of bacon. So please, if you're a multi-millionaire, billionaire, finance food security, and for the nurses, please, public-private partnership. And if you're a multi-millionaire, billionaire, finance the nurses so that they can go get a massage therapy session and get a weekend or a whole week off, everything paid, expenses paid as a gift to the nurses and to the ambulance drivers, to the nurses and ambulance drivers. Give them a gift. If you're a millionaire or a multi-billionaire, guys, I admit I'm not perfect, far from it. Got issues, got vices, get upset, get moody, got lust, admit a lot of things, and admit that at certain things I am mediocre, at certain things I am average, other things I am so. There you go, I admit it. At other things I am great philosopher, thinker, the world's greatest living dancer, that is for sure certain. A little bit of a poet, some poetry and dancing in combination. Yours truly, Adrian H. Dragan, who died during COVID, being reborn. Adrian, Hannah Dragan, androgynous pansexual, founder of the dancing goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. Grateful, thankful this afternoon that I'm gonna be able to pay my rent for September, to keep working. Put in a new CV, curriculum vitae during COVID, that put in more philosophical, artistic, poetic, physical with my workouts, and intellectual and geopolitical than all the leaders of the free world combined. Proof of work online on my Facebook, Instagram, of course other words, and of course marched more than the generals of NATO combined during COVID in steel toe boots. Yours truly marched more than the generals of NATO combined during COVID, while at the same time put in more philosophical, artistic, poetic, geopolitical, intellectual, and even physical work than all the leaders of NATO member combined, premiers, prime ministers during COVID, and of course put in more physical, intellectual, academic, geopolitical, philosophical, artistic, even spiritual work than all the leaders of the free world combined during COVID, while marched more than the generals of NATO combined during COVID. And broke, I admit it, but my work is gold. Open for business, triple vax, vaccinated. Please increase in hygiene in public. Please increase in hygiene in public. Please increase in hygiene in public. Wash your hands, disinfect your hands with soap. Please increase in hygiene in public. Because brothers and sisters, when we step, when we step outside of our own private room, office, and temple, we are no longer just private citizens. We are also public citizens with added public responsibilities and duties and obligations that are added, and was being private, because I can turn everything off now, turn off, shut off, close, and get naked and dance on Tekashi 6ix9ine music, Madonna music, or Kanye West music. My 1 hour dance for 1 hour naked is of course the price. For world peace, for world peace is a million for 1 hour naked dance. Yours truly, special Dragan, androgynous pansexual dancer, Adrian Dragan, 1 million 1 hour. It's gonna be pay my debt, $10,000 debt, which I do all to the RBC, $10,000. All to the RBC, $10,000. The government of Quebec might or might not be asking me back for 2,200, 2,200, which I'm $2,200. The government of Quebec is asking me back, which I want to trade, negotiate, do a dance, go on a plein d'aram in Quebec, capitale nationale, capitale de Québec, puis comme premier ministre, on va donner des bisous puis des câlins à toute la belle province. That was a little bit of French. I'm a North American, Quebec, or French, coast to coast, many past lives, many incarnation, an artist, independent athlete, independent activist, AAA plus, fourth dimensions, other dimensions, universal spiritual teaching student, geopolitical theorist and analyst and theorist, independent psychological analyst, and of course universal spiritual teaching student, because I have questions, I don't know it all, do not know it all, and of course them also, and world peace advocate, and the world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet who's not perfect, far from it, and want to be movie reviewer, Before I do commence, I'm gonna say thank you. I'm grateful, thankful that I got corn, 10 pieces of corn for $1.99. So I'm gonna do a little bit of the meditation on the corn that I have. The corn, of course, as the motto of the dancing goddess goes, all fruits, ALL, fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. From the black fertile earth with the golden lights and the nutrients and the elements found within the black fertile earth with the rain. We of course need rain. Water is holy as fire is sacred, and vice versa. And of course, the motto of the dancing goddess army is all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. The corn got 10 pieces of corn for $1.99. Imagine how many pieces of corn were harvested. So all this corn that I purchased, 10 at a good deal, corn from Quebec. Quebec, corn from Quebec. From Quebec, that the farmers, thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers of La Belle Province, Quebec, thank you, love you, hug you, farmers who harvested that corn for the brains and muscle, and of course the dance of the goddess. I say goddess, you don't have to accept that word. Goddess, GODDS, is my non-sectarian. I'm non-sectarian in my philosophy, non-sectarian application of my philosophy, non-sectarian with principles, and of course I'm referring to planet Earth, Mother Nature, and of course that dance is the seasons, different seasonal dances, and this dance with the temperatures and the rain and the golden sunlight of the light of the sun, which is now shining, covering coast to coast, not just Quebec, the whole province, the whole coast to coast, east, west, Canada. That way is the west coast, Vancouver, British Columbia. That way is the west coast, and the Pacific Ocean. That way is the east, and it is of course the Maritimes in Canada. So coast to coast, Canada, US, all the way Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Chile. Jumped a little bit of countries: Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Bolivia, Chile, Uruguay, Paraguay, all the way to Argentina and Brazil and Suriname. So North America, Central America, and South America. The sun is shining, light, life, and heat at this moment. There might be clouds around about, but still the dance continues, and the sun is always rising and always setting at this every minute, every second. As a matter of fact, second, minute, and hour, the sun is rising and setting somewhere. And now it's 2:40 p.m. It is afternoon, but on the west coast we subtract 3 hours, and we got about 4.5 hours time zones in Canada, about 4.5 hours time zones in Canada, 4.5 hours, right? 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4.5 hours time zones coast to coast. As in the USA, my brothers and sisters, yours truly was an American born twice in past lives in the USA. 156 years ago, 718 miles that way in the back, served in the US Army in a past life. Many incarnations right here from this September 1st. Carpe diem every day, carpe diem every day. Gonna work out, train, exercise, philosophize, call it all willing, living to support my philosophies. Encourage all to work out, to train, and to exercise, which has been, is, and will continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice for me. I've lost more than 77 pounds on the fitness journey. And of course, I'm gonna say again, thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers, farmers, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, truckers who transported the corn, because it was transported, put on a truck, put it up, some brain and some muscle. Of course, all the building of the highways, the infrastructure, and I think that was done, and the financing deals, of course, to make the corn. So that I am grateful, thankful that I'm gonna have some corn after my workout, while watching a movie with my anonymous sister. While watching a movie with my anonymous sister, watching a movie with my anonymous sister, which is movie review time now. Just gonna say one more thing, that I'm getting grateful, thankful that I'm gonna be able to pay my rent for September, pay my electricity bill is paid. I'm already in the minus disclosure, but got protection, overdraft protection, overdraft protection. I got overdraft protection, but work is golden, bro. But my work is gold. Challenging the multi-millionaire athletes to try to do my workouts. And please, if you make a million on the stock market today, or made a million on the stock market yesterday, or we're gonna make a million on the stock market tomorrow, please give 10%, 10% to the farmers, or to the food security, for food security, as this black coffee bean was also made and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother and son, as all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun, that our brothers and sisters farmers harvest for us to make, upgrade, or maintain civilization. For us to make, upgrade, or maintain civilization. So this is, quickly, I'm gonna say again, thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, truckers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, nurses. Thank you, love you, kiss you, firefighters. Thank you, love you, kiss you, butchers and bakers. Of course, the dairy farmers. I've got myself some milk, a reduced price. I was excited to see milk a little bit reduced, so I had the opportunity, and thank you for doing the milk, which is I'm gonna drink a little bit of milk every day, about a cup or so it's gonna last me for at least a week. In the fridge, maybe a week and a half. And of course, I've got myself some bacon. Thank you for the farmers who farm for me to make the bacon. To eat the bacon half price, and bacon prices have gone up so much, and I'm complaining. And of course, I'm grateful, thankful that I'm gonna be able to pay my rent for September, and I'm gonna be able to work, keep on advocating, keep on calling. Hopefully by 3 p.m., a few minutes left until 3 p.m., I'm gonna get my first dollar donation, and then somebody's gonna make an offer on my buying my coffee mug. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you. Auctioning this coffee mug. Auctioning this coffee mug. Starting $93, starting $93. Thankful, grateful that my rent is paid in full. Thank you. I'm also paid my electricity bill earlier today, so I paid my electricity bill this morning for September. I paid my electricity bill early this morning. Thank you to the past, present, and future workers, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of workers of Hydro-Quebec who, for brains and muscle, build more than 63 dams. Yeah, brain and muscle build more than 63 dams. Power my renewable zero emission energy that I'm using to make this video, and you can see your story is in the minus 9,960, and it's got in the minus 300. Finances aside, we're gonna rock and roll movie review. Star Wars movie review. Wow. So for the first time in the past 3 weeks, I've endeavored, engaged, and we've came up to the challenge to watch with my anonymous sister and friend, to watch Star Wars. And I watched it. Bless you. To watch it for the bless you. We've watched Star Wars, all episodes. It takes about 3 weeks to watch lots, 1 to 9 episodes 1 to 9, because of course when they were produced, they go back in time. They're prequels, right? And they were produced 22 years after. I mean, more than 22 years after, but they were prequel in the sequence of the timeline of the Star Wars universe. And wow, I gotta say, I kind of became a fan of Star Wars, and I might have seen it. I might have seen Star Wars in the past. I do not remember. I've lost a lot of memory. Paradoxically, remember more in past lives, and previous incarnations. I remember more in past years, but I don't remember much about my early childhood, adolescence, or early adulthood. I don't remember much. I remember vaguely. I have a high school diploma, so I know I graduated high school. It's not important anyways. I don't want to go back to anything pre-COVID. Adrian H, Adrian H, Dragan died during COVID. Being reborn, Adrian Hannah Dragan, your student, androgynous, pansexual, founder of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Support my philosophies, if you will. Show love or move along is my rap. Show love or move along is my rap. Show love or move along is my rap. Love is action. Love is also action. Love is also action. So kisses God by the plenty. But anyways, got to see. I might have seen some episodes. I might have seen the first ones. I might have seen the first ones that were made in 1977, the first Star Wars. 1980, 1981, 1985, whatever the in the 1977, I think the first one was made, right, or 80 or whatever the number is. And I've seen also all of them 1 to 9. In a few days we watched a whole week. We watched 1 to 9, like wow. And then of course it's interesting to see how they were produced, right, in 20 something years after, and even 30 years after. And I was amazed at the voice, which I love, the voice of James Earl Jones, the voice of James Earl Jones, which I love his voice. And I've seen Conan the Barbarian. Of course, I'm a millennial, so I'm born after Conan was made. Although I think when Conan the Barbarian was made and Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger was already being into acting. I think Conan the Barbarian, he did it in the timeline of his whatever age, whatever, before Terminator, right? Yeah, whatever. But I have Conan the Barbarian. I've seen Terminator. And of course, James Earl Jones plays in Conan the Barbarian. It's a great movie, and which I've seen both. So I've seen Star Wars. Wow, in 2022, still COVID ending, calling all to support move towards the COVID. So I rated very high. And I recommend it. I rated some movies. I'm gonna go overall. It's a good, I give 4.4.5 stars. You're close to like overall, all overall, all the Star Wars put together. Some are 3.5 stars, some are 5 stars, some are 4 stars. But overall, it's a good 4.5 stars. And on 1 to 10 rating, I gotta say that overall it's a big 9.3 or something, 9.3, because some are 8-ish, 8.5, 10, close to 10. Some I give them even a 10, so I give it 9.5, whatever number. But overall, it's a good 9, a good 9, a good 9 plus, a good 9 plus, a good 9 plus. The episode, so it's an amazing creation, the Star Wars that I've gotten to see now in the past 3 weeks, and I imagine that the creativity of the story that goes into create the whole universe of the Star Wars trilogy and saga or series. And of course I also watched the series, which I'm excited. I've watched the series The Mandalorian, and of course I also watched the little movies that are made after, but sometimes in the timeline of the episodes you had to figure it out that it happens in the timeline of the universe of Star Wars. It might happen before XYZ events, main events of such as of course the rise of the Empire, the main characters of Luke Skywalker, and the main characters of Darth Vader, which of course there is intrigue whether he fulfilled XYZ, whether fulfilled XYZ, and there's of course mystic and occult and spiritual and religion. The world religion of the Jedi is used, and of course, which is also the religion of the Sith, but in a more different way, and they are at odds with each other. And then you have the different planets and cultures and aliens and humanoids and cyborgs and droids, and a mixture of technology. And some planets are different cultures that don't have so much technology. So it's a whole universe of beautiful, colorful, and strange universe that is very beautifully done. Bravo for Star Wars. And I've watched not only the 1 to 9 episodes. And I find fascinating that it's of course the first Star Wars was 1977, and then more than 22 years in 1999 the prequel was made to show what had transpired before Darth Vader, before the Empire, right? With the beginning of the Empire, how the Empire came about, the events which led to the creation or formation of the Empire, and of course by the Sith. So of course the main characters or the main ideas is of course of this galaxy, this universe, universe of Star Wars, which are The Jedi is the main characters. If you will, the Jedi's, right? And the Jedi's are kind of like a knight's monastic, right? Because they're spiritual, they meditate, and this mystical, spiritual, almost kabbalistic, and some part of Talmudic ideas and concepts about the energies and the forces that constitute the universe, which are of the physical, of the unseen, of the spiritual, of the emotional, right? And the Jedi's are supposed to dedicate their lives sort of for the greater good, to be in balance and harmony, and to act such as non-intermediaries. They have a lot of rules. They have to forsake their ego, for example, have to forsake their ego and a lot of their passions and desires and emotions to this cause of bringing sort of harmony and justice and peace is a theme, of course. Of course, the Sith have a more their dynamic is more towards the selfish, towards the using the the elements of the emotion, the aggression, for more selfish reasons, and they seem throughout the series and all they seem to be they see a lot order that they need to bring order, but the methods or their methods are they're more totalitarian, they're more authoritarian. Seems like the Sith do not believe in democracy, do not believe in republic, and that's the theme, of course, of democratic republic or republic in the assemblies with voting, with consultations, while the Sith seem to be authoritarian, totalitarian, seem to be that the power should be concentrated in an totalitarian leadership in many ways. And of course, to impose an order that's to their benefit, not necessarily for the greater good. So there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of philosophy, mystic, occult, spiritual, and they also say a lot of religion, the Jedi religion. So also a sort of religion of the Force, the mystical force, which is implied in different dialogue. In dialogue, you have to pick it up. What is the Force exactly? So many things. Force that keeps the universe together, that balances, and sometimes there's this harmony and conflict, and there's always tries to be a balance and a harmony and an equilibrium that's tried to be formed. And of course, there's the rise and fall of the Republic, then the rise of the Empire, then the fall of the Empire. And after the Empire, there's factions that try to restore the Empire, and that is, of course, you see that in the episodes that happen after the Empire. And I also loved a lot of the movies which were made on the different characters about Solo, Han Solo, and of course the series. Well, the series, the season about Obi-Wan's journey and Obi-Wan's endeavors and struggles. That was very well done, and I really loved also the music in the Mandalorian. Could have done, could still do anytime tomorrow. Call, give a call, holla holla holla. Great choreography on the music of the Mandalorian, and not just the Mandalorian, but the Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. The music, Star Wars, and those are seasons. The seasons were also wow. The seasons were great. I haven't watched the cartoons yet. But the music of the Mandalorian there with the flute and the Boba Fett with the flute and the bass and the high, almost mystic, spiritual, almost music to it. Imagine when I was hearing it in the introduction and the recap, I was imagining doing choreography, of course, for the Dancing Goddess Army. I was imagining doing, of course, choreography for the Dancing Goddess Army. I was imagining, of course, doing choreography for the Dancing Goddess Army. As I, of course, have plenty of choreography of dancing as being an artist, an athlete, and activist, and many dimensions to that AAA, few dimensions added to that AAA, yours truly, Adrian Dragon. I love the Mandalorian was good, and of course, also on it's a very rich in the stories. It's the richness of the stories and their own tribes and their own the aliens. They have cultures and codes, and rules of conduct and principles like the Mandalorian the fact that he was not supposed to take his mask off. Right, the mask should remain always on. That was something that it's irrational. It doesn't make sense. How so? How so? And we try to find out. And then their expressions that they say, as example, of course, the main expression in the Star Wars, whether the series or the seasons, is "May the Force be with you." May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you. And of course, in the Mandalorian, he says that this is the way, and then the other has to respond, "This is the way." Usually, is a means to settle on something and to take action. To settle on something and take action. And settle on something and take action to denote that this XYZ action is required for the remedy, for the solution, or for because it's a duty and responsibility, which comes off often as a Mandalorian code. That certain times they have a duty and responsibility, such as with little Gorgo, which is the same species as Yoda. It's the same species as Yoda, same species as Yoda. So it's, and you have to also sometimes pay attention to connect the dots of where does it happen in the timeline of the at the beginning, of course, of watching seasons, whether the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, because sometimes you see interjected certain events and you connect it with what happened in the movies that happened in 1977, and these are made more than 30 years after. Of course, the seasons are made more than some of them 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, even this year. It's in the making now, and as I'm speaking, it's in the making now, and I'm speaking, it's in the making now, as I'm speaking. Maybe I can do a special Dragon appearance in one of the Star Wars. What could I play? Could play a lot. Rainbow characters could play rainbow characters, could play rainbow characters. Would love to play a new character in Star Wars, an androgynous type of a lounge bar casino owner, an androgynous dancing bar casino lounge owner. Would love to play in Star Wars an androgynous bar casino or lounge owner where I'm dressed in sort of scarlet with a rainbow hat and green shoes. Yeah, and do a dance in the green shoes and a rainbow and scarlet. I could write a script, a short script, to score 5 minutes in the movie. Already have the dialogue. Already have some dialogue. What is it that you seek in my holy establishment? What is it that you seek in this holy establishment? What is it that you seek in this holy establishment? Anyways, overall, bravo, well done, well done. Actors were good, acting was good, dialogue was good, and it's cool to connect. And I really enjoyed it, and I wouldn't mind watching again all the episodes 1 to 9. I wouldn't mind watching again. It was so good 1 to 9. I wouldn't mind watching again all the episodes 1 to 9, and the seasons were excellent. Some of them, Boba Fett was better than I expected, and of course the movie, also the other movies made more recently. Rogue One was also super good. Solo was also good. Because Solo is now part of the 9 episodes. There's 9 episodes. Usually, and then there's in parallel what was made after, like Solo, like the story about Han Solo, Han Solo, how he comes to be Han Solo, and it's kind of cool how it's made in the past. He's always still getting in trouble with Gam, so with his dealings, more shady dealings. But of course, he has a good heart, and overall, it's a great character. Plays great, good job. I really loved it. And Boba Fett, I just finished watching it. Um, today's Thursday. Yesterday was Wednesday, Tuesday night. Finished watching Boba Fett. Love the music, love the playing, love the character transformation, and his passing. Of course, he went for a great desert. He crossed sort of a great desert and was left to die, and he becomes transported. And he's also a sort of in between character who has faults, has vices, issues like myself. I do, but he's for the greater good. And he's sort of just and moral in a paradoxical way. He's just and moral in a paradoxical way. He is just and moral in a paradoxical way, and his transformation, of course, along with in the parallel with cool character, Shan Feng, who's a character of the Order of Assassins. So you have colorful characters, colorful dialogue, colorful, strong, really cool events, which sometimes have to be connected in the timeline, and sometimes we have to figure out where does it situate in the timeline of the Star Wars timeline of the universe of Star Wars. What I do is I usually place the timeline around the main events of Luke's rising, or Darth Vader, around Darth Vader when he ruled as a viceroy, with the Empire, with the Emperor, of course, Palpatine, and of course the fall of the Republic, the birth of the Empire, the fall of the Republic, the birth of the Empire, the fall of the Republic, and the birth of the Empire, and what had transpired before those events and after the events of the rise of the Empire, the rise of the Empire, the beginning of the what had transpired pre-Empire, the events, the birth of Anakin, of course, who's I don't want to give it away because I've spoiler alert, but nonetheless, yours truly, this has been a great movie review again. Excellent, super good job on the episode Star Wars, and the seasons as well. I really enjoyed watching them, and it's been a pleasure. Wouldn't mind watching again. This has been Coffee with yours truly, Dragan. Feel free to commission a Coffee with Dragan movie review or philosophy on any theme whatsoever. I'm open for business. I am open for business. Make love tonight is the main message. Please increase in hygiene in public. Wash your hands with soap and water, hand sanitizer when you're going in out of a bank, mall, grocery store, clerk, school, or whatever it is. I encourage you to work out, train, exercise, and yours truly, we're gonna work out, train, exercise today later on in an hour or so. Listen on Facebook Live.